We're going to talk about Chapter 18, Blood today. Blood vessels, and heart belong to the circulatory system. Blood vessel and the heart are often referred to cardiovascular system, while blood is the study of hematology. The function of circulatory system include transport, protection, and regulation. The circulatory system can transport oxygen, carbon dioxide, nutrients, waste, hormones, and stem cells. The circulatory system can protect our body from inflammation. It can limit spread of infection. It helps destroy microorganisms and cancer cells, neutralize toxins, and initiate blood clotting steps. Circulatory system can also regulate fluid balance, stabilize the pH of extracellular fluid, and control body temperature. In average, an adult can have 4 to 6 liters of blood. Blood is a liquid connective tissue. This type of tissue consists of cells and extracellular matrix. The cells include red blood cell, white blood cell, and platelets. The liquid portion, which forms the matrix of the blood, is called the plasma. It's a clear, light yellow fluid. When we spin the blood will be separated into 3 portions. The liquid portion, which is the plasma, which takes about 55% of the whole blood. The second part is the red part, which is the red blood cell, which takes 45% of the whole blood. In between, there is a buffy coat. This is less than 1% of the whole blood, which contains white blood cell and the platelet. White blood cell, red blood cell together are called formed element. Within the blood plasma, there are 3 major categories of proteins: albumin, globulins, fibrinogen. Albumin are the smallest and most abundant protein which can function as a transporter and a carrier. Many minerals in the blood are carried by albumin. Albumin also contributes to osmolarity and viscosity. It influences the blood pressure, blood flow, and fluid balance. Globulins are antibodies. We have different types of globulins. Alpha and beta proteins, which are transport proteins, such as hormones. Gamma globulin, which is released due to an immune response that can transport antibodies. Fibrinogen is a precursor of fibrin that helps with the blood clotting. All these plasma proteins are formed by liver, except globulins, which are Antibodies are coming from B lymphocyte. In addition to different types of proteins, in the blood plasma, we can also find nitrogen compounds, such as free amino acids, or some nitrogen-containing waste, which are the breakdown products of some catabolism, such as urea. We can also find nutrients such as glucose, vitamins, cholesterols, phospholipids, and some minerals. Plasma also contains oxygen and carbon dioxide. Both gases can be dissolved in the plasma. Plasma also contains electrolytes. Sodium is one of the major ones, which plays important role in changing membrane potentials for muscle cells and nerve cells. And sodium can take up to 90% of the plasma cations. Plasma contributes significantly to osmolarity and viscosity. Viscosity is the resistance of fluid to flow, resulting from the cohesion of its particles. The blood is about 5 times as viscous as water. Plasma is 2 times as viscous as water. Osmolarity is the total molarity of those dissolved particles that cannot pass through the blood vessel wall. If the osmolarity is too high, for example, the blood cells are hypertonic, blood will absorb too much water and increase the blood pressure. On the other hand, the blood pressure will be dropped. The optimal osmolarity is achieved by body's regulation of sodium ions, protein, and the red blood cells. Deficiency of plasma protein can cause diseases such as hypoproteinemia or kwashiorkor. As we mentioned earlier, after spin the blood using the centrifuge, we have three portions: plasma, buffy coat, and the red blood cells, which are called erythrocytes. So let's talk about the erythrocytes. Erythrocytes have two principal functions. One is to carry oxygen from lungs to cell tissues. The second one is to pick up carbon dioxide from tissues and bring it back to lungs. Insufficient of erythrocytes, which are also called red blood cells, can cause death in minutes due to lack of oxygen to tissues. Erythrocytes is shaped like a disc. Hemoglobin is the major protein in the red blood cells. Hemoglobin contains 4 protein peptides. Each of the protein peptides contain a heme structure, which is showing in red star here. On the top of the heme structure, iron is sitting there, binding to oxygen to carry it through the hemoglobin. Deficiency of iron will cause anemia, and the low iron concentration will reduce the number of the red blood cells. Clinically, red blood cell count and the hemoglobin concentration can be used to indicate the amount of oxygen the blood can carry. The production of red blood cell is called erythropoiesis. 1 million red blood cells are produced per second. Those blood cells can circulate within the circulatory system for about 120 days. This figure shows you the cells started from the stem cell in the bone marrow. Then it forms into a colony called CFU. Next step, the cell will become erythroblast, and then at the end, it forms into a matured erythrocyte. The degradation of red blood cells after its lifespan of 120 days are contributed by liver and spleen. There are 3 types of anemia can occur due to red blood cell destruction or inadequate synthesis. The first one is inadequate erythropoiesis or hemoglobin synthesis. This could be due to iron deficiency, kidney failure, autoimmune attack, or slowing process of erythropoiesis, or complete cessation of erythropoiesis. The second type of anemia could be due to a large amount of bleeding. The third type can be due to the red blood cell destruction. In addition to anemia, sickle cell disease is an inheritary defect for forming the wrong red blood cells. In sickle cell anemia, the red blood cell shape is like a moon shape instead of regular disc shape. This type of red blood cells has low efficiency of binding to oxygen. In this video, we started with the introduction of the blood. We talk about the component, the function, and we focus on red blood cell formation and the related diseases.